Fort Meade Marines among the hundreds of service members at this year's Resiliency and Remembrance Run. Hello and welcome to another edition of Meade Week. I'm Brian Spann. Also this week, the Crypto Museum gets a very big edition. Fort Meade soccer team brings home the gold, and it's Hispanic Heritage Month. These stories and more, but first, Garrison Commander Colonel Eric Sprague hosted a town hall meeting this week to take questions concerning recent reports of possible exposure to lead on Army installations. The Colonel was joined by representatives from Housing, Public Works, and Public Health Command. If you missed the town hall, you can still review all the issues raised and the responses. Just go to the Fort Meade Facebook page, click on the events link, and you'll find the town hall. You can also review a slideshow that contains a lot of useful information. The bottom line, if you think there's an issue, report it. In other news, the Fort Meade community might have noticed something unusually large in the skies overhead this week. The National Cryptologic Museum took possession of a recently retired Air Force EC-130H aircraft.
The plane that's going to fly in today is going to replace the original C-130, and again, it's going to take its place in the newly configured National Vigilance Park, which will come to fruition sometime in the future.
The National Vigilance Park is going to be part of the NSA's new Cyber Center for Excellence and Innovation, which will be located very close to the Cryptologic Museum. This week's big addition came in from Eglin Air Force Base in Florida.
The plane again symbolizes the service and sacrifice of those who served in the aerial reconnaissance program during the Cold War, and actually for anybody who goes off on dangerous but important aerial reconnaissance missions in this day and time.
The National Vigilance Park is temporarily closed while the construction for the new NSA Visitor Center continues. Meanwhile, the annual water main flushing program got underway this week. It's done every year to remove any sediment buildup in the water lines. The flushing may result in some temporary discoloration and the presence of sediment in the water. Officials say these conditions should be very short in duration and not harmful. Still, they advise you limit your use of water between 8 and 4 p.m. to help prevent discolored water reaching service lines to your house. If you do notice an increase in discolored water, flush all the cold water faucets for 15 minutes. If you have any water filters installed, check for clogs. If it doesn't clear up, contact the water treatment plant. Water main flushing is expected to continue through the 21st of September. Meanwhile, in sports news, the Defenders Cup is the only open military soccer tournament in the nation. This year's 20th anniversary tournament at Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland attracted 38 teams from across the country, including one from Fort Meade. According to team manager Colonel Bernard Kelsch, who also happens to be the acting director of the defense media activity, the Meade United football team has been knocking on the door for a couple of years.
In 2016 was our first year going. We took third. And last year we took eighth, and this year we squeaked through and got first place.
2, 3,
Congratulations, Meade United. A quick reminder, this year's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration is Wednesday, September 26th from 11:30 to 12:30 at Club Meade. Hosted by the 780th Military Intelligence Brigade, this year's guest speaker is Captain Mario Flores from the U.S. Special Operations Command. Once again, this year's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration is September 26th at 11:30 at Club Meade. We closed the show this week with a look back at this week's 9/11 observance. Fort Meade Fire Division Chief John Trotman rings the ceremonial bell. That's Meade Week for this week. I'm Brian Spann. For everyone at Meade TV and the Fort Meade Public Affairs Office, have a great weekend and a great Meade Week.